You start with Adam, in Genesis 5, you have the sequence. He lived so many years and he had a son, and he lived so many years and he had a son. He lived so many years and he had a son. You add up those. You have 6 days from the creation of the universe to the creation of man. From the first man, Adam, to the flood, you have 1,656 years. 1,656 years, the flood comes. Genesis 11 gives you the chronology from the flood to Abraham. He starts out with the children of Noah, Shem, verse 10, goes right on down to Abraham. That's 225 years, okay? 6 days, 1,656 years, and 225 years. So, something under 2,000 years. And you're at Abraham. Start in Genesis 12 with Abraham, and go through the Old Testament historical books, Exodus, Numbers, Joshua, Judges, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles. Just proceed through those books. And you have the chronology from Abraham to the Babylonian captivity. That would be 430 years in Egypt, 40 years in the wilderness, 7 years conquering Canaan, 350 years of the Judges, 110 years of the United Kingdom under Saul, David, and Solomon, 350 years under the divided kingdom of Judah and Israel, and then you have the Babylonian captivity, 70 years, and then you have the return and the rebuilding, 140 years. So, from Abraham to the return and rebuilding of Jerusalem and the rebuilding of the nation Israel, you have about 1,500 or so years, if you add all that up. Following the rebuilding and the restoration, you're at the end now of the Old Testament. You got 400 years of silence. So you have about 2,000 years. We sort of started out from the creation to Abraham is about 2,000 years. From Abraham to the New Testament is about 2,000 years, and from the beginning of the New Testament to now is about 2,000 years. Prior to Charles Darwin, any educated man who suggested that mankind was over 6,000 years old was seen as a fool. All historical records fit into that 6,000 years. You can go back and study European history, you can go back and study the records, the Egyptian records, and they all go back no further than that. Research has been done on the speed of light. They've done it in kilometers. The speed of light is generally accepted as being 299,792.458 kilometers per second first. And this comes from some interesting, fascinating research by an Australian scientist named Barry Setterfield. Listen to this. Arguments that the speed of light has been slowing down and thus traveled much more rapidly in the past would indicate a very young universe in terms of thousands rather than billions of years. The first careful measurement of the speed of light was made by a Danish astronomer, Reamer, in 1675, and then by an English astronomer, Bradley, in 1728. It's been measured many times since then, and is said to have reached an equilibrium at the number I gave you a moment ago. The data indicate that the speed of light in 1675 was about 2.6 faster than today, and that it continued to decline until 1960 when atomic clocks began to be employed to measure it. Setterfield charted a rate of about 5.7 kilometers decrease in velocity per second between 1675 and 1728, and 2.5 kilometers per second decrease between 1880 and 1924, and he kept charting the decrease. He worked out a curve tracing the decay of the velocity of light. On this basis, Setterfield figures the Earth was created about 4,040, plus or minus 100 years. At the time of creation, the speed of light was going so much faster than it does now. If the speed of light has indeed decayed, along with everything else, then the most basic empirical measurement of the age of the solar system would fit precisely into the genealogical chronologies of Genesis. If you just take those same figures, put them on a curve, you have light being almost instantaneous 6,000 years ago. That would explain why the dates derived from various types of radioactive measurements on physical geological elements would all be skewed. The velocity of an electron in its orbit is proportional to the speed of light.